All right, now all those top stories brings us to the one that's right on top, and that's the race for Raisina Hills, which is clearly heating up. A united opposition today naming Yashwant Sinha as their consensus candidate for the presidential elections. You would recall that President Ramnath Kovind's presidential term ends on the 24th of July, and the Election Commission has announced that it's going to scrutinize nomination papers on the 30th of June, and voting will take place for the president on the 18th of July. Now, the opposition that stands united against the BJP consists of 13 parties, which includes the Congress, the Shiv Sena, the NCP, the Trinamool Congress, the Aam Aadmi Party, and the left. This candidature of Yashwant Sinha is turning out to be rather interesting given his background, his history. Sinha has been a former Janta Party leader, but very importantly, he was a part of the Atal Behari Vajpayee NDA government. Yashwant Sinha quit the Bhartiya Janta Party back in the year 2018. He cited differences with the leadership's ideology. And it was at that time that Sinha had famously said, "Democracy is in danger." On the other hand, the BJP and its allies are also expected to announce their candidates soon. Now, with a united opposition, the numbers game has become more interesting. A united front may cause more problems for the BJP, although for the moment, it likely won't. As of now, the BJP is just south of that magic number. But if parties like Naveen Patnaik's BJD and Jagan Mohan Reddy's YSRCP end up supporting the government, the BJP could very likely sail through this test quite comfortably. Just let's listen in to what we got from the Congress. Jairam Ramesh of the Congress was speaking. He was making this crucial announcement about the joint candidature, the consensus candidature of Yashwant Sinha as the presidential candidate.
We are happy to announce that we have unanimously, I stress the word unanimously, chosen Sri Yashwant Sinha as the common candidate of the opposition parties for the presidential election, which will take place on the 18th of July 2022. In his long and distinguished career in public life, Sri Sinha has served the nation in various capacities as an able administrator, accomplished parliamentarian, and acclaimed Union Minister of Finance and External Affairs. He is eminently qualified to uphold secular and democratic character of the Indian Republic and its constitutional values.
All right, so that's what we got from the Congress party is Jairam Ramesh, the announcement of their consensus candidate, Yashwant Sinha. Political analyst Sanjeev Srivastava is now joining us to break down this development and help us understand the many implications. Sanjeev, thanks for making the time. Thanks for joining us on India Tonight. Now, this consensus candidature of the opposition, in your opinion, is this a winning move or one that has been settled upon? Is it a compromise?
Well, it is a compromise. We all know the first people talked about was Mr. Sharad Pawar. Then Farooq Abdullah declined on his own, came out with a statement that he won't be contesting. And then Gopal Krishnan Gandhi also. It's not to take away from the merit of Mr. Yashwant Sinha's candidature. And he has had a distinguished career, as we just heard Jairam Ramesh list his career graph out, from civil servant to parliamentarian to Union Minister of Finance, External Affairs, and then the big voice together with Arun Shourie against who took on the BJP might of Mr. Modi and Amit Shah. But having said that, this is a game of numbers, and the numbers are stacked up against the opposition. So numbers favor the BJP or the NDA candidate. They already, like you just mentioned, are just kissing distance away from a winning vote. And any party, any small regional party, any group formulation, even if they just abstain, the NDA candidate, BJP nominee is through. So it's a symbolic fight. It's good that the opposition has got a name which fits with the stature of that high post. But the outcome is more or less settled.
Compared to Ramnath Kovind, Yashwant Sinha comes with a stronger political legacy. One cannot doubt that. So will the BJP's candidate now, the announcement of the candidature is still awaited, will that candidate need to match Yashwant Sinha? Perhaps even if it's, you can't win the numbers game against the BJP, the opposition can't hope to do that. But does the BJP still face the prospect of losing the perception battle with the kind of candidature that is announced by them?
Well, the BJP, very honestly, from its track record for such posts, when Mr. Kovind was his candidature was announced for the president's post, who knew really of Mr. Kovind? Not many people. Recently, the most recent example is of Delhi's Lieutenant Governor. When Mr. Saxena's name was announced, everybody asked Mr. Saxena who? And quite a few number of people are still looking for that answer, that who is Mr. Saxena. So I don't think the BJP believes in all those niceties or what the perception will be. It is they, and it is largely the Prime Minister, who is going to decide that who has been a good Karyakarta in his eyes, who has been somebody who has worked tirelessly and selflessly for the party, and who hasn't got the kind of recognition that he has got. So yes, it is almost foolhardy to second guess Mr. Modi, the Prime Minister, on such issues. But I won't be surprised if you have a heavyweight candidate, somebody who is known and somebody who matches Mr. Yashwant Sinha's stature or betters it even. Or if it's a rank outsider, a complete surprise, and we all are left asking, okay, so who is this gentleman or lady? So we really don't know the answer to that. One will have to wait till the BJP officially announces it. Today there was a lot of rumors going.
Yes. What are the rumors again? What have you heard?
No, rumor that 3 BJP senior leaders, including Rajnath Singh ji, who has been appointed as the go-to man for presidential elections by the BJP, which rules somebody like him completely out. And the party chief, JP Nadda, meeting Venkaiah Naidu, the vice president. So some people have conjectured whether does this mean that Venkaiah Naidu may be elevated to the top post. Again, I don't have the answer. Frankly, nobody has the answer. Right. Nobody has an inside track into this government when decisions of this level are made. So I just a complete guess. I don't think that's a possibility that Mr. Naidu may be elevated, but I may be wrong. So we still don't know who the person is, but we
symbolic
do know
fight, Sanjeev. You call this a symbolic fight, and correctly you pointed out the likes of Sharad Pawar, Gopal Gandhi, Farooq Abdullah, they've all turned down the United Opposition's offer and backing to run for president. So why do you think Yashwant Sinha has agreed to do this?
No. See, I think Mr. Pawar declined, but that he wants to continue in active politics. Farooq Abdullah said he wants to be involved with active politics or wants to serve the people of Kashmir or be associated with the politics of Kashmir. Gopal Krishna Gandhi said that there are better people than him, and he is thankful for being considered. I think somewhere in the back of the mind of each of these candidates was, other than Mr. Gopal Krishna Gandhi, he has fought a losing election even earlier, but maybe he just passed it on this time. But for Mr. Pawar, I think he won't throw his hat in a ring where he is not assured of a victory. He's not that kind of a person. Farooq Abdullah does not want to play that symbolic role. Mr. Yashwant Sinha, frankly, has nothing to lose. He has played his political innings. He can go down with a hurrah because even in symbolism, a joint opposition candidate, a joint candidate against the BJP is a big way to kind of take that last bow on a national political stage. And it was very important for the opposition to have a joint candidate. So even if they are going to lose, or even if this is a symbolic fight, it's very important for such posts to put up a symbolic fight. Otherwise, people will say,
Sanjeev, tell us why. What is really at stake? What is really at stake for the ruling government and the opposition to have this kind of fight? What is the perception battle that both sides need to kind of try and win?
See, it's a battle of ideology. The opposition is trying, like Jairam Ramesh said, or all opposition leaders saying, that they are trying to save the Constitution of India, the democratic, secular values of India, which the BJP, of course, would all the time say that none of that is in danger. So for the BJP, it will be just very. They cannot afford to lose the president's post, for heaven's sake. So, and they are in no danger of losing it. So they have to win the election. They will win the election. There is no doubt about it. There was much more at stake for the opposition, because if they had not zeroed in on a common consensus joint opposition candidate, they would have cut a very sorry picture. And though there is no direct correlation between the president's election and 2024 national elections, people would have all started saying, what if the opposition can't even get their act together to find a common name for the president's post? How will they ever get together to take on the BJP's might in the national elections or Lok Sabha elections? So for all that purpose, and also, even if you're losing, it is frankly quite, they would have got a very sorry picture if they had not been able to put up a credible face. And Mr. Yashwant Sinha is definitely a credible face and carries all the experience and the stature and the political heft to be a part of this election or be the main candidate against the BJP.
Sanjeev, how strongly are the political battle lines drawn at this point, where we are seeing the political crisis play out in Maharashtra in the light of what is happening in Maharashtra and the presidential elections taking place? Do you see the smaller parties taking stronger sides and making their alignment with the government at the center clearer? Do you see kingmakers happening within the smaller parties? Is that likely to happen?
See, what is happening, I think that the most important, the biggest political story of the day is the developments in Maharashtra. See, Maharashtra is a state which sends the second largest number of MPs to the Lok Sabha after Uttar Pradesh. Mumbai is the financial capital of India. It's a very crucial state. And to have a non-BJP government there, like we had for the last 3 years, the Mahavikas Aghadi, it was a big fillip, so to say, for the non-BJP parties to be ruling and governing a state as important as Maharashtra, with all its political and financial heft. If they are in danger of losing that, if at all it comes to that, we still don't know how this play is going to play out really. Whether Eknath Shinde has sufficient number of MLAs, whether he's posturing for a bigger role within the government. I frankly think he has burnt his bridges with Uddhav Thackeray. Very little possibility of a rapprochement. But politics is the art of making even impossible things happen and look probable and possible. So how the Maharashtra Act plays out is a separate story. But what it clearly establishes is that even the slightest chink in the opposition armor and the BJP juggernaut is there waiting by the sidelines to exploit it. So while people were talking about Agniveer, all other things were happening, presidential elections was a big talking point amongst opposition leaders. The BJP, they are saying they have nothing to do with this Maharashtra crisis, but I really can't even for a second believe that Eknath Shinde can run away or go away with 2 or 3 dozen MLAs or whatever the number is without active encouragement by the BJP. And the fact that he's in Surat, the fact that he is in a state which is governed by BJP, all of it, you just have to add 2 and 2. So it's the biggest story. What happens there will have a bearing on the politics of the next year and a half. As far as the smaller parties you talked about, I think most smaller parties, whether it is TRS of Telangana or YSR Jagan Reddy, or it is the JDS, all these parties have their own axis to grind. They will look at their interests, or BJDs, Biju Janta Dal in Odisha. They will look at what suits their politics best. They are not like a Mamta or a Kejriwal who will in any case come what may be opposing BJP, because that is again part of their politics. So the regional parties are there to see their pound of flesh. see where their interests lie, and any one of them even abstaining,
Yes.
the BJP through in the
It's going
presidential
to
election.
help the cause of the BJP. There's no taking away from that, and we're seeing a lot of that play out in Maharashtra's politics. Sanjeev, always a pleasure talking to you. Thanks so much for joining us with your perspective tonight on the show. Meanwhile, it's